Mandar, I hope I am audible to you. Am
Yes.
I? Yeah. Mandar, so we are live already. So we will wait for a couple of minutes before we can start your presentation. Okay. So we have about 15 people live right now. So we'll wait for a little more while, maybe a couple of minutes before we start off with today's
Okay.
talk. Yeah.
Okay.
The minutes before we can start your presentation. Okay. So we have about 15 people live right now. So we will Yeah, Mandar. So I think we are good to go. We have about 25, 26 people online, so that's great. So let me begin today's session by welcoming everyone who is online and is listening to us. A very good evening to all of you. And this is the seventh talk in the series of webinars that we have been arranging under the My Mollem initiative, primarily to raise awareness about the rich biodiversity wealth in Bhagwan Mahavir Wildlife Sanctuary and National Park. They've had various talks starting with lesson on fauna, like we had talks on ants, wasps, butterflies, and then we moved on from there to uh, lesson on herbs, that is amphibians and reptiles. And today we'll have Mandar from the Goa Bird Conservation Network. Mandar is one of the founders of Goa Bird Conservation Network, and Mandar is currently the treasurer of Goa Bird Conservation Network as well. He has been birding for a long time and has even co-authored the checklist of birds of Goa, which was published on Indian birds, and even co-authored the online checklist of birds of Goa, which is available online, which is a very good resource for every bird watcher or academic who wants to study on birds of Goa. So Mandar, which also is very well known across Goa for being the face of Goa Bird Conservation Network's monthly bird walks. And there have been about more than 60 plus bird walks running, spanning for more than 4 years now. So Mandar has been the backbone of that, and he has immense experience of handling children and especially handling nature trails. And he comes with a vast experience of uh, conducting public awareness activities, especially those centering around birds. So Mandar is the right person to talk to us about the birds from Bhagwan Mahavir Wildlife Sanctuary and National Park, and he'll take us on a virtual journey of the birds there. And we hope to learn a lot from him in the coming 40 minutes or so. So Mandar, it's over to you now.
Hello. Hello and good evening, everyone. Hope I
Please
am audible.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Hello and good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to today's session, which is a part of my Mollem awareness series. In the past, various speakers have already spoken about different group of animals, and today let me take you to journey into wonderful world of birds from Bhagwan Mahavir Wildlife Sanctuary and National Park. Okay, let's start with the overall overview of birds around world. In the world, there are 10,404 species of birds which are known, out of which this IUCN has classified 2,486 birds as threatened, of which 222 critically endangered species are more likely to become extinct in near future. Okay, so, scientists estimate that species are disappearing at the rate of 100 to 10,000 times faster than the natural rate. Approximately 23% of total bird species of all the birds in the world can be considered as being significant significant global concern. Okay. Coming up to India, there are 1,332 species of bird has been officially documented from country. If you sum up all these endangered and threatened species, it comes approximately 14% of total bird species in India, which are essentially need our concern and attention. Okay. Okay, let's come to Goa. With respect to biodiversity, a small state like Goa with an area of just 3,702 square kilometers, which is smaller than neighboring Sindhudurg and Uttar Kannada district, has 35% of all the total bird species that are found in India. It's a good number, right? There are 473 species altogether reported from Goa. Among them, three are critically endangered, five are endangered, 26 vulnerable, and 11 are near threatened. Be- Before I move to Bhagwan Mahavir Wildlife Sanctuary and National Park, let me tell you about brief history of bird data collection from Goa. Okay. The first bird survey conducted at Bhagwan Mahavir Wildlife Sanctuary and National Park was led by Robert Grubb, Salim Ali, and other three from the NHS in 1972. They observed around 97 species of birds from Bhagwan Mahavir Wildlife Sanctuary and National Park itself. Uh, their list includes species such as critically endangered Indian vulture, Egyptian vulture, Egyptian vulture, and other global threatened species like lesser adjutant, woolly neck stork, Nilgiri wood pigeon, Malabar pied hornbill, etc. The list also includes 18 species that are endemic to Western Ghats, and 25 species listed in Schedule 1, Part 3 of Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Further, several surveys were also conducted by scientists from Zoological Survey of India in Goa, which included studies on birds and other fauna. Many of their field and collection sites include Bhagwan Mahavir Wildlife Sanctuary and National Park. Also, several visiting tourist bird watchers from across the world were also visiting Bhagwan Mahavir Wildlife Sanctuary and other areas. Late Mr. Heinz Lehner came up with first book of Birds of Goa, in which he compiled a list of birds from Goa using his own observation of visiting bird watchers who are visiting regularly Goa. Okay. From late 90s, local bird watchers, that means Goan people, local bird watchers also started contributing to knowledge of the birds of Goa under mentorship of late Carl de Silva and late Heinz Lehner, which is still continuing till date. Okay, now let's come up to Bhagwan Mahavir Wildlife Sanctuary. Based on published information and citizen science reports, mainly like acquired from eBird, there are 86 species of birds, 286 species of birds from in Bhagwan Mahavir Wildlife Sanctuary and National Park, of which two species are critically endangered. One is endangered, one endangered, then three vulnerable, seven are near threatened. Further, there are also 14 species which are endemic to Western Ghats. Means they are only found in Western Ghats, nowhere else. And 32 comes under Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act 1972. However, there is one lesser known fact that make this protected area very special and important. Let me explain this to you by giving you some examples. This is a common flameback, a type of a woodpecker. Even though it's named as common, it's not very common in Goa. It's a bit rare. You can see most of the records of this bird are from southern Western Ghats, starting from Goa and further south till Kanyakumari. In Goa, it's recorded in the Bhagwan Mahabir Wildlife Sanctuary, Kotiga Wildlife Sanctuary, and very few reports from Madhuri Wildlife Sanctuary also. I myself saw it thrice in Nandran area of Bhagwan Mahavir Wildlife Sanctuary on a trail running parallel to existing NH4 highway. Even this photograph is taken on the same trail. Oh, and another woodpecker. This is the white-bellied woodpecker, which is largest woodpecker in Western Ghats and second largest in India. Okay. So, although this woodpecker is found in eastern parts of India, western distribution starts from southern Western Ghats, starting from Goa and further south. So, one can almost assure one can get almost assured sighting of this bird from Bhagwan Mahavir Wildlife Sanctuary. There are some old records by Heinz Lehner, who has also recorded breeding of this species near Dudhsagar. Okay. Now let's move on to this is Malayan night heron. Malayan night heron is exclusively a forest heron species, unlike other herons. Though there are few records of this bird from Sindhudurg, this bird is regularly reported from Bhagwan Mahavir Wildlife Sanctuary and further south of Goa. They are very active, particularly in monsoon. Now let's come to Wayanad laughing thrush. This bird is found in high elevation areas of central and southern Western Ghats. Several birders has seen this it along segments of railway track running through Castle Rock to Mollem. Okay. Again, a northern most distribution of this species starts from Goa. It is very important. And this is Malabar woodstrike, endemic to Western Ghats. This bird is seen in edges and clearings within the evergreen forest of southern Western Ghats, starting from Goa and further south. It prefers wetter woodlands, means moist area. Now, this is a flame-throated bulbul. Many people must be aware of this word. Also known as ruby-throated bulbul and is a state bird of Goa. Earlier treated as a conspecific with black-crested bulbul found in eastern Ghats and foothills of Himalayas, this species now considered as a separate species, okay, whose distribution starts from north of Goa till Kanyakumari in southern India. Interestingly, this species was recommended as the state bird of Goa by Dr. Salem Ali when he had visited Goa for bird surveys because of its distribution pattern. So this distribution patterns it starts from Goa till Karnataka region. However, of late this species is also sighted in neighboring Sindhudurg district. Many believe this may be effect of climate change. Okay. So this is another interesting bird, bigger sunbird. In all previous slide, you must have noticed that birds whose distribution starts from Goa and further south, whereas this figure sunbird is almost absent further south in Goa. It is only seen in north of Goa, in part of Maharashtra. There are only two isolated records from Shimoga, which are southmost records of this species, and those are also recent ones. Okay. Can this- Just like above examples, there are several other resident species whose distribution starts from central Western Ghats in Goa and further south, like white-naped needletail, brown-backed needletail, Malabar barbet, dark-fronted barbet, southern hill myna, white-bellied trippa, and many more. Okay. From previous slides, you must have noticed that so many species have their distribution starting from Goa. This can't be just a coincidence, right? Many scientists think that just like there exists a Palagat gap in Kerala, a similar gap called Goa gap exists somewhere within Bhagwan Mahavir Wildlife Sanctuary and National Park, which is probably causing species distribution pattern that we have seen in above maps. This proves part of Western Ghats falling in Goa plays a very important role with respect to few bird species at least. Right? This is all about current status of bird life in Bhagwan Mahavir Wildlife Sanctuary and National Park. Now let's talk about the three linear projects which are proposed by government. So you all must have already aware about how many trees will be felled because of these three linear projects approved by government of Goa and how it will affect and all. I'm not going in details of all those figures and nitty-gritties. Rather, I will try to express few things through some photographs. It is said that a picture speaks louder than a voice. This rosy starling visits India every winter from breeding ground in Central Asia and Southern Europe. You can see the left one is a juvenile and the right one is a full adult male breeding in breeding plumage. And this is how we treat our avian guests. It's very sad, isn't it? You can see the it sitting in a garbage pile of garbage. Again, this is what we expect and what is actual reality. I don't need to say anything here. The image itself are self-explanatory, right? This is what we would say love to see at roadside: an orange-headed thrush foraging leaf litter at the edge of road, or European roller looking for insects in roadside grass. But what we actually see is this. Uh, Same way, we all like to see birds perch in nicely on a wire in open and singing. But however, most of the time, what we get to see is this. Now, let me come to solid waste as an issue to birds. Though we always advocate balance between human development and wildlife, in most cases, wildlife loses battle. For example, in all the above examples, we have seen how one of the major problems of such development activities give rise to very unforeseen but yet important issue of garbage. Solid waste management is the single most big threat to our environment. Correct? When human footprints increases as a result of mass transport projects like road and railways, along with it comes the associated problems of unethical disposal of garbage. This problem compounds especially when this happens in a protected area, especially. Wild animals are attracted to dispose food along road and railway lines. This then leads to animal getting hit by rail engines or vehicles and increases the chance of disease transmission also. Such animals who forage in garbage also have very high parasite load like ticks and mites. Constant attraction of wildlife animals toward garbage also cause change in their behavior, which can cause several serious problems in their breeding biology also. And accidentally eating the plastic, another another major concern. There is a problem There are problems that are not thought about while considering development projects. These are the problems, and even if you thought about the impossible, it's impossible to monitor and enforce such large human footprint. Often, awareness and education are said as a key to reducing impact of such footprint. However, that is a long-term and slow-acting solution. And by the time awareness and education bears fruit, such critical habitat already uh, be seriously damaged, right? And often mitigation strategies suggested for such projects don't consider solid waste management in their plan. This happens often. So our decision makers should plan properly by taking into consideration opinion from all experts from various fields, and also think about having cumulative impact assessment for all projects. Okay. Now let me end on the positive note by uh, taking you on a journey where I will showcase some amazing birds photographed from Mahavir Wildlife Sanctuary National Park and surrounding. Okay. I hope you have enjoyed some of this. Okay. This this is the blue-eared kingfisher. This is not the one which is printed on label of beer. This is a forest species specifically. It has a nice blue ear here. You can see. That is the another similar looking kingfisher is common kingfisher, which you find very common. Okay. This is another very beautiful kingfisher, and it's a oriental dwarf kingfisher, also known as the jewel of forest. It's very tiny and very colorful kingfisher. This is a Malabar grey hornbill. The best thing I like of this bird is its call. It makes a nice, unique call, which I'll try to play it for you here. Very funny. Isn't it funny? Just like a small kid is laughing. Okay. This is again endemic to Western Ghats. This is the one of the largest hornbill, great hornbill. It's a very huge bird. It has such a huge wingspan that when it flies, you can hear its wing flap whoosh, 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 whoosh while it's flying. Okay. Now, this is again another beautiful dove. You must have seen. It's a very fast, swift flyer actually. You must have seen it crossing road suddenly. Something crossing a road from one end to another in full speed. It's a very shy bird, and it sits in a understory and mostly, and it has a nice again call like this. Sometimes if you don't see this bird, you can locate it by listening to this call. This is another visitor. Visitor means this is a migratory bird which comes to Goa or Western Ghats specifically in winter. This is a blue cap rock thrush. It has a nice cap, you can see. That's why it's called blue cap rock thrush. It has a blue cap kind of thing on its head. That's why it's called a blue cap rock thrush. It comes all the way from Himalayas. This is another orange minivet, very beautiful and very bright color bird. If you see it in flight, you can see nicely. It feels like some kind of ribbon flying in the air, mid-air, and followed by another yellow color ribbon, orange color ribbon followed by yellow color. Yellow color why? Because the female of this bird is totally yellow, and usually they fly in flocks. It's very beautiful to see them. This is another black-naped monarch. This is also a kind of flycatcher. A very nice thing about this is when it have bath, it will dive into water and go and perch on the nearby branch and preen itself. It usually don't go means dip itself in water. Okay. It is also in this picture. It's not seen, but it has a black spot on the nape there, somewhere here. That's why it's called black-naped monarch. There is another very beautiful flycatcher endemic to Western Ghats. That means it's not found elsewhere. This, according to me, I think this is the most bright and very contrasting colored flycatcher. Very beautiful with a very blue color on the upper parts and white on the belly. That's why it's called white-bellied blue flycatcher. Another little bit duller color, brown-breasted flycatcher. This is also a visitor, uh, tourist we can call it, tourist bird. Comes all the way from Himalayas to our Western Ghats. Okay. This is again another Malabar barbet. This is close cousin of coppersmith barbet, which you find usually in your neighborhood, and even sometimes in cities also. It has also a unique call. Unique means it's similar to the coppersmith, but a little bit faster. I try to play it. It's little bit faster than the coppersmith barbet. It has very nice, beautiful colors, and it feeds on mostly on fruits. So basically a frugivorous bird. Okay, and this is another starling, or it's a kind of myna you can call. It's a Malabar starling, also known as earlier known as Blythe starling. It's a close cousin of chestnut tail starling, which is again winter migrant. But this one is a resident and endemic to Western Ghats. This beautiful couple you can see the Malabar trogon. This is on the top, one of the top bird which is in the wish list of visiting bird watchers who come from across world. I can say. So the left hand side is a male and right hand side is a female. It has also very beautiful call like a whistle. Okay. Okay, and this is a Malabar whistling thrush again. Malabar whistling thrush. Before I go to the last, I'll just give me. I will. Let me come to solid waste issues already. Okay. Okay. So I think I have covered everything. Let me come. Okay. This is the Malabar whistling thrush, and it has very nice, beautiful uh, call.
Mandar, your screen sharing, Mandar, if I can interrupt you, your screen sharing has stopped. So I think people can't see your slides anymore. So if you could put it back online.
Wow. Okay, okay, okay. Just a minute. I think now you can see.
Yes, Mandar, it's on. Yes.
Okay. Sorry, sorry. Something happened here.
That always happens.
Yeah,
Technical glitches always happen. So it's okay.
yeah, correct, correct. Okay. So this is a Malabar whistling thrush. This is also a very little bit shy, but you will find this bird in near stream, uh, and it has a very nice, beautiful call. It makes a call like similar to human. It's happily calling and going. Let me try to play it for you. Isn't it very nice? Just like a school boy going home, whistling all the way on the way. Okay, on this, eh, okay. So here I'll end my presentation. Hope you all have enjoyed and some of these species in photograph. However, I recommend each one of you to visit this protected area after the pandemic. For sure, after the pandemic is over, and enjoy these lovely birds in their natural habitat, and appreciate our beautiful Goan biodiversity. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you so much, Mandar. That was really amazing. It was like a virtual tour through the forests. I think we have all been wanting to get back to the places that we love, and hopefully we can do that very soon. But in between, I think you have given us a very nice, refreshing, uh, playback of all the moments that all birders kind of enjoy in the wild with all the amazing photographs and more importantly the information that you provided us, especially a lot about the solid waste issue that is usually the white elephant in the room that no one wants to answer. And so thanks a lot for raising some really pertinent questions. And I hope this kind of adds to the information or the knowledge which is already out there and gives more teeth to people who are trying to ask the right questions in the right places. So with that, let's kind of first take a few questions that have come up, and I would also request anyone else who is listening to us and Mandar to ask him any questions on the chat section so that we can kind of take up those questions. So Mandar, here you go. This is the first question that arrives for you. So here you are asked, can we have a session for beginners on bird watching, how to identify, etc., with a minimum set of resources? So would you kind of go ahead answering that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, sure. Actually, already we have already done this pre this pandemic issue was started. We had some workshops, live, not the virtual one, live workshops we had. As a GBCN, we had two, I think three workshops we already had for beginners. And yeah, we can have some virtual ones also later in time.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks, Mandar. I think as GBCN, we should kind of take up this suggestion and maybe host some online sessions for anyone who would be interested. Right. Okay. So there is one very interesting question here by Ashwit. He asks, it would be weird to ask this question. Who is authorized to assign the State Board of India? Okay, that would be the State Board of States, and on what basis it is decided? Yeah.
I am not actually, obviously, it is a government, maybe, or with the consultation with the forest department, they must be doing it. And they must have taken advice. For example, I already told you that Dr. Salim Ali has already suggested this bird to be a state bird of Goa, which is a flame-throated bulbul or ruby-throated bulbul.
Yeah. So if I could add to this, Ashwit, a lot of time these state symbols are proposed by people who work on certain taxas and certain groups. For example, as Mandar had in his presentation told that it was Dr. Salim Ali who had proposed it to the then forest secretary. The same way, state symbols are usually proposed by people who work in the field, ecologists or scientists. They propose it to the forest department usually, and it's the forest department then who takes it forward with the minister for forest, and then it goes into the gazette, and then that's how it happens. And a lot of state symbols have come into existence recently. For example, Tamil Nadu has a state butterfly, Kerala has a state butterfly, Goa has proposed for a state butterfly. So that is the step that's how the process happens. So the state birds of various states and state symbols of various states are decided that way. Okay, Mandar, I'll kind of flash you. Okay, there is some good comment for you while I hunt for the next question.
Not all, but few I can imitate. The easier ones.
Yeah, yeah. There goes another question, Mandar, for you. Does the name flycatcher mean they are good at catching flies?
Yeah, not only flies, means all insects, flying insect you can call it. Yeah, they do catch the insects in mid-air also. I have seen them very many times.
Right,
So
great.
yeah,
Okay, so yeah, there's one more very important and interesting question by Paresh Gosavi. So Paresh Bhai asks, is it correct to say Mollem accounts for more than 50% of total bird biodiversity documented in Goa? And to what extent EIA report has assessed the damage will happen to biodiversity of Mollem if three projects go ahead as planned? So Mandar, maybe if you could take the first part of the question first.
yeah. First part of the question, I will rather say not 50%. If you consider forest birds, it will be more than 50% of the total forest birds of Goa are seen in Bhagwan Maharvi Wildlife Sanctuary. So, yeah, you can say that. That's the part of EIA better. I think Pranay can tell in better way.
Yes, yes.
Right?
Thanks, Amanda. Since I've been following up on this, as of now, there are two environmental impact assessment reports that are available online on the Parivesh website, and these two are the rail and the road EIAs. While the road EIA is very very light on information about the birds, and absolutely except the Indian robin, I don't think any other bird is mentioned in the checklist. While they also mention the flame-throated bulbul in very erroneous ways, and there are mentions of the yellow-throated bulbul, which is an endemic bird of India in the plains and is definitely not seen in Goa. So there are very erroneous reports in the road EIA, whereas the railway EIA is fairly okay. However, there as well the scope of the surveys were limited, And a lot of information exists for cavity nesting birds, but no information about understory vegetation birds, and no other information about species that would be affected elsewhere. So these, and of course there is no information. The EIA of the high tension wire project is not yet available for the public to view. So we have no idea about what has happened on that front. So yes, the details are very light as of now, and the EIS don't really assess the damage that would happen to the biodiversity of Mollem. And the other thing is, you have raised this question about three projects. So all these EIS have happened over various time spans, over various different time scales, and the information is scattered. And that is one of the demands that the citizens have, is to have a cumulative impact assessment. A proposal has been made for three different linear projects across a single contiguous protected area. So that is going to fragmented the existing protected area, which is already fragmented into four parts. So that would need a cumulative impact assessment, and assessment of all the projects together and their impact cumulatively. So that is the demand, I think, that citizens have been raising about these projects to the government, and hopefully they would reason with that. So that is the answer to your question, Paresh. Right? So Mandar, yeah, there is another interesting question which is exactly for you. So there you go. So it says, how do you record the call of birds? What are the difficulties you face while recording the call of birds?
Difficulties, I can't say, but okay. Call recording doesn't actually. If you go professionally into that, you need a good recorder. But as a beginner, you can start from phone. You can download an app or a normal voice recorder. Sometimes it is built in your mobile phone. Just record, and you can even you can send it to me for identification if you are not you can't identify that bird that way. And if otherwise you can also buy a good recorder. It costs around 8,000 rupees somewhere. So Zoom H13 or something, which I am using. It is very handy pocket recorder and cheap also. So the only problem is post. It takes time for post processing. That is a problem. We have to reduce the noise and everything. That is okay. It depends on that. And obviously, difficulties. The noise is a difficulty. For example, when you are walking in Bondla Wildlife Sanctuary and you are recording some bird, and all of a suddenly somebody comes from back and honk. That is the biggest difficulty I find. So the noise pollution is the biggest difficulty that you can't avoid.
Okay, so Mandar, I think there is another statement, and I think we were just discussing about this while we were looking at the troubleshooting, and I kind of you kind of actually alluded to this. So there is this statement where Sohail says that I have seen the common flameback woodpecker in Saligaon and other places. So would you want to clarify on that?
Okay. Can I again share the screen and that particular photograph
Yes,
again
yes,
so that
yes,
I can
yes, yes. Please, please. Yeah,
that
yeah. Please
because
go ahead.
that will be better to show it. So what actually you are see, there's a difference between a common flameback and a black drum flameback, or also known as lesser flameback. You see here, there's a single mostachial stripe here. Okay, and in case of black drum flameback, which is very commonly found even in non-forested areas also, the whole throat will be totally black, not like this, a stripe kind of. It will be totally. So it obviously in when it is in flight and all, you might get confused with it. And this is very rare bird actually. Basically, At least I have seen it only thrice, and that too in Bhagwan Mahavir Wildlife Sanctuary. And I think there are only some 10 to 20, not more than 10 also, records from Goa. So this you have to
Yeah,
notice, keep in mind that the throat will be black, what we have seen. And this is
so
a stripe here.
Mandar, maybe I can. I've shown you the black rum flameback, so you can use that as a comparison as well.
Correct, correct. Actually, that also can be.
So that's the black rum flameback, and that's the common flameback. So there's a lot of difference, as Mandar has mentioned about both the birds here, right? Okay, great. So let's take another question there. Uh, yeah, there
Hope
you go,
people
another one,
don't
Mandar.
again and again ask for the ID pointers and all. So otherwise,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
this
No, no,
session will
I don't think there
be
are more.
going for
Yeah,
days
yeah.
and days. It will be an unending process.
Yeah. So maybe this question here, Mandar.
Okay.
Is there any solution to roadkill and waste management? And is there work going on that it's right now? Like, is there any solution to roadkill and waste management? Uh,
The only
yeah.
solution
So
is
yeah, so the solution here is that people get more aware about the problems. And Mandar had mentioned about awareness and education. These are long acting solutions, and very important because it's the future generation that needs to take care of the mess that we are making of right now. So it's very important that solid waste management as an issue is taught to the future generation. As far as roadkills are concerned, there are various engineering interventions that can happen to avoid these. For example, there can be natural barriers in terms of trees which are planted. There can be wildlife underpasses that are constructed successfully in various areas. So there are various alternatives as well to avoid all of this, and to check for waste being thrown. I think it's very important to enforce. For example, there are various places in India itself where the enforcement happens very stringently. For example, if you carry a water bottle, plastic water bottle, you are supposed to pay a 10 rupee deposit before you enter, and you are supposed to come back, show the water bottle, and then collect your 10 rupees back. So that kind of enforce, and this has happened in Karnataka. I've seen this happening in various places in Karnataka as well. So these kinds of enforcements happen, and if done really in the right spirit, can be very useful, right? Right. So there is one more question by Mandar that you can take up. Has the booklet on Goan names for birds been published?
no, unfortunately because of this lockdown and all, it got delayed. The basic framework is the artwork is ready and everything is ready. Only we are waiting to for the because of the it is supposed to come from get printed from Bangalore, and there's a almost total lockdown in Bangalore, so it got delayed. So it will be we are trying to get it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
It will
So to
continue
add on that,
on all the common species with the Konkani name and English name.
yeah, to add to what Mandar said, I think for the wider audience, the Goa Bird Conservation Network is working with the Early Bird initiative by the Bird Count India Nature Conservation Foundation, and are trying to make a very lovely, foldable booklet for common birds of Goa, which will have illustration of a common bird. Of all the common birds that are found in Goa, about 100 odd birds, which will have their common name in English and common name in Konkani as well, as many as Mandar and his team could come up with. So that is something that people in Goa should look forward to, right? So there is one more interesting things question here by Ronit. So he asks, how has been your experience over the last 5 years of the changing biodiversity in Mollem? So if you have observed any changes in biodiversity over 5 years.
I think Pranay can answer this. Mm,
Uh, Ronit, I think the
Uh,
answer to this
yeah,
is in, in,
even I
in
didn't
such
get
a
the question properly. Means
Yeah, so Ronit is asking if you have been visiting Bhagwan Mahavir Wildlife Sanctuary for a while now, right? So have you
Uh,
seen any changes over the time that you have visited this area? That's
Not
the
much
question.
yet, but it is supposed to, because after these projects come into existence, yeah, obviously there will be few changes. But it, means that personally I didn't notice anything much.
Okay, yeah. All right. And there's one more interesting question which says, for locals staying in and around Mollem, what steps can be taken by them towards assisting in preserving biodiversity? So, Ronit, for this, I would say that again, awareness and education is extremely important among the student communities there, and it's very essential that the this initiative comes from the locals themselves, and locals would do that only if we who do this as our either hobby or as our profession take all this knowledge and information that we have been building over time to the locals, and then kind of and giving them that information and equipping them with the information so that they can be better equipped and prepared to preserving biodiversity around them. For example, if you can tell if you can convince a local to differentiate between a venomous and a non-venomous snake, and also give them enough information so that instead of killing a snake they can call a rescuer. That kind of mindset and mentality needs to be changed over time, and that can be achieved by a lot of education and awareness. And I think Goa Bird Conservation Network has been doing this in this very widely across the state, and has partnered with the various institutions, has partnered with the government over the last few years in trying to disseminate information about birds, their habitats, and popularizing birding in general, so that enough information is generated. And all the information that you have seen that Mandar presented is a result of citizen science, and not just by people who are in the cities, but also by people who are living in these villages or in towns or near natural habitats, who have been at the receiving end of awareness and education programs and have contributed information which has fed into this entire process. So I think that is one way of you know making or a few steps, or one of the major steps that can be taken for helping locals to assist them in preserving biodiversity, right? Velocia asks me share links to the EIR reports. Well, Velocia, you can look at this website called Parivesh. It is parivesh.nic.in, where you can actually go and look for the reports of both the EIS that are available for the public to view, right? And yeah, I think that there are just a few more questions which we can, since it's birds, obviously there will be a lot of questions, Mandar. So yeah, so there's this about, I'm trying to document birds in my village and come out with a small book. Can you please tell me how to go about it, and what books can I refer to for identification?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, documenting birds is a very good initiative. I appreciate your uh, lead, what you call say. Yeah, you can even you can if you want you can go out birding for example, if you want to note that bird, you can use a app called eBird. You must, I don't know if you are aware about it. There's an app called eBird. From there, you can make a note of whatever species you have seen, and keep your checklist. Like, you can create a hotspot of your own locality, and keep on submitting data to the eBird. And at the final, you can take out a report, and that will help you in making a booklet what you are preparing to make, actually. And about the field guides, there are various field guides in market, but the basic one is obviously the birds of by Salim Ali, uh, or another one is I can show you one. This is a bit old one, old book. This is a birds of India by Grimates, Richard Grimates and Inkscape. Grimates and Inkscape. This you can buy from Amazon or even some bookstores nearby. This is a very nice book. That's all. And you can, for common birds, you can also visit our gbcn.in. There you will find one small PDF that covers many common birds which are seen around our, in especially in Goa.
Right. All right. So I think Mandar, that's
Right?
that. I think okay. That's one last question that we would take before we wrap up. And yeah. So does citizen science apps like iNaturalist or eBird help the researcher to work on population of a particular wildlife sanctuary such as Mollem? So I think Mandar, you have already touched on eBird. Maybe you could tell about how eBird data also helps in in understanding things like this.
Yeah, definitely it helps.
Yeah, eBird data or any data on the global biodiversity information portal or iNaturalist, all of these can be actually extracted by people, not just researchers. It can be extracted by anyone who wants to study them, and can be used for various kinds of good positive initiatives. For example, one of the IBAs that was declared in or was identified in Goa was typically based on the information that was submitted to eBird in 2013 to 15. So the power of data that is generated by the citizens is really huge and can be harnessed in really multiple and wonderful ways. So it definitely helps. Citizen science definitely helps, and it has brought biodiversity information to the hands of everyone who can want to appreciate biodiversity information, or who want to use that information for conservation strategies, or even for for projects or even for this initiative like My Mollem, where a lot of citizen science data has been used to generate positive information out there. Yes, right. So with that, I think Mandar, we will end today's session. A lot of people have showed their appreciation towards the lovely session that you had, and a lot of interesting and funny comments as well. Uh, yeah,
So,
right.
so
So thanks. Yeah, Mandar. If before we finish, if you would want to say something before we finish, that would be great. After that, we'll end the broadcast for today.
okay, thank you very much, all of you, for listening me for so long. It was actually basically my first presentation as such. I've never done this kind of thing. I am a field guide mostly. Like I prefer more going into the field and taking people to the bird walks and all. So indoor thing is little bit like new to me. So thank you. And what else? Thank you very much, everybody. And thank you, Aranya, also,
Right. Great.
for
Yeah. Thank you so much.
giving me this platform to uh, show my presentation here.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, Mandar. And in the comment section, I have put up the link for GBCN, that is Goa Bird Conservation Network. Anyone who is listening to us and is not a member of Goa Bird Conservation Network, please join the membership initiative. It helps us to raise voice for birds when we birds of all the feather, all similar feathers flock together, and we want to bring all people who are into birds and who are of the same feather and want to conserve birds to come on Goa Bird Conservation Network and be the voice of birds, and take the voice of birds to places where they need to be heard. So the link is there, and once the pandemic ends, Mandar is going to restart his bird walks again. So hopefully all of you can as well join on some of these bird walks that Mandar leads so passionately. So please take your time, visit the Goa Bird Conservation Network's website, and please think about enrolling for the membership. With this, and next week, that is the next Sunday, there will be a webinar on trying to understand the linear, these three linear projects from a remote sensing perspective. So we'll have people from remote sensing background, who basically people from the Tech for Wildlife and Madhura Nipadkar, both who will be speaking to us about the linear infrastructures, giving us a perspective of remote sensing and how that plays an important role in planning projects, and what lacunae exist in the present EIAs that have been given in terms of remote sensing. So do join us coming Sunday, that's next Sunday. And also to tell everyone who has tuned in to us, the next session of Burgeon, which is a platform that Aranya has provided for youngsters who want to showcase their work, will be available, will be online this coming Wednesday, where we have a very interesting session about jackals. So tune into that as well on Wednesday. And with that, I will take a leave along. And thank you, Mandar, once again. And thanks to all the viewers who have tuned in to us. It was a really great response. We had about 70 people watching this presentation live. So thanks a lot
Thank you.
and good night. Yeah. Bye.
Good night.